Hello, peoples. How are you doing? Oh, righty. Let's see. Get my thumbs up. Pop out my chat. Good. Okay. Right, that and play live. It looks like I've got downed antennas. My hair looks like crap. I've been having it in a keeping it in a headband. Keep it out of my eyes because it's just the right length. It's supposed to be a what do you call it? Curtain cut, I guess. But my bangs were not. I was growing them out. And they're. It reminds me. I got to get a hold of my hairdresser. Keep forgetting. Um. Anyway, yeah, look rough. So, how's everybody doing? I see somebody's out there. I got a one person watching. Woo-hoo. Well, I got good news. I'm finally losing weight. Kind of interesting. What I did, I remember I told you guys, oof, I break out on my scalp. I broke my brush today brushing my hair too, so that's why it also looks like crap. Um, last week, last weekend, I think it was last weekend, I did a 2-day fast. It wasn't last weekend, it was the weekend before. I can't remember. Let me look. I've got notes. I have notes. A little bit of notes. I'm terrible at keeping notes. Terrible. Terrible. Okay. When did I do my fast? Really, I didn't write it down. That was pretty important, and I didn't write it down. The last one of the dates that I did. 3 watching. Woohoo. How's everybody doing? Where's my chat? I covered it up. Oh, no wonder. Okay. Get it back to live chat so I can see if anybody posts. July 15th. So it was, what's the day? The 15th, 16th. So a month ago, I started taking the salt water or salt teaspoon, half teaspoon of salt. I figured it out as a half teaspoon of salt in a glass of water in the morning. Some people say you should do that a couple times throughout the day, and I haven't got around to it yet. But I started doing that July 15th, taking I'm going to put a half teaspoon because I'm not taking 1 teaspoon. In a way, a half teaspoon of salt in the hot water. And that's not that bad. You get used to it. It's the first thing I do. I get up and that's the first thing I do. I put my hot water kettle on and feed the birds, feed the cat if he's up. He usually sleeps in. And then I do my hot salt water. And then let's see. It says July 15th and it says July. That is why I don't take notes well. And it says July 11th, feeling a bit better and getting tests. I can't even read my own writing. Yeah. Yes, I'm a real success story. Put on my dollar store glasses. The pair left that didn't break. They always break right here. I don't know why. They don't last that long. Oh, now I can see. And my eyes got a lot worse in the last year, but that was before I was doing keto. Oh boy, hang on. Haas knocked my remote controls off my desk this morning. Um, I'm getting hot, having one of my hot flashes. My keto carnivore hot flash. I think it might be my metabolism kicking in, or else I'm having a dive. It's either one thing or it's either one or the other. Either I'm having a spike in temperature or a drop in temperature. Usually the hot flashes come when you get a drop in temperature. That's why women in menopause get hot flashes. They're not hot. If they take a core body temperature thing, they're low, and their body's kicking in, trying to heat, kicking into the, especially the extremities. Anyway, feeling a bit better and getting small tasks done. And yes, when I started doing the salt water, that's what happened. I was obviously low in salt, even though I salted my food. I don't like super salty food, but like chips, potato chips back in the day, I didn't mind them. I didn't eat that many of them because of the salt, I think. I just saw a fly buzz past my face. This is my Zevia. This is my favorite one, I think. This is creamy root beer. It's kind of like A&W root beer. It's a little bit too sweet, though. I need to get I want to get an adapter for my soda stream so that because I crave soda water sometimes, which means I'm too alkaline. I'm trying to acidify. Anyway, I get that on sale. Usually they have it on sale every other week at Safeway, Albertsons, whatever. Rosars, maybe. Yeah, I think Rosars is tied in with them. So this is too sweet. And what I used to do is I would pour like a quarter or probably a third of a can into a glass with some ice in it and fill the rest with soda water, just unflavored, unsweetened stuff. And it was just right. But those little canisters are really expensive. So I was thinking about going into the local Oxart store and seeing if they could make an adapter, cat hair, that would be like like a big canister CO2. So it would take me, instead of going through one every 2 months, take me a year. It'd be cheaper too, cheaper to fill. But anyway, I haven't done that yet. I've been thinking about that for 4 years now. What else? Let's see. Okay. I didn't put a date on that, but I know it was last weekend. What was last weekend? I gotta look it up. 4 people. Hello, 4 people. Hi, Teresa. How are you? Good to see you out there. Let's see. I gotta look up last week. So last week was on the 9th. I think it was the 9th. I'll put the 9th just because. Let's see. That would have been August 9th. 8, 9. And you know something? My dad died. He died August 11th, 2016. So 9 years ago, anniversary went by and I didn't even think about it, which is a good thing. That means I'm not stressing about it, not freaking out about it anymore. That's a good thing. I don't think I did last year. I think a few days went by before I realized. I was laying in bed and I was like, oh, that's right. He died, blah, 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 blah. Today's the 11th. Anyway, so last weekend on the 9th, yeah, I got to keep them on. I stopped drinking anything. I stopped dairy, no cream, butter. I am doing butter. I look crazy. I look like a cartoon in these. But I stopped doing cream, which is hard because I don't like coffee without cream. And I've been putting MCT oil. I got to put MCT oil on here. Yep, I didn't put it on there. Okay, so MCT oil, if you're going to do this, is really good to help with ketones, and your body doesn't see it as fat. So you can, who's it? Dr. Bosworth, I think. She said, take 4 tablespoons a day, like space it out. That's a quarter cup. So just figure a quarter cup. And that will help with building ketones and apparently with mitochondria, helping rebuild mitochondria. I've been doing a lot of studies on that lately. So anyway, what I've been doing since last Saturday is I stopped the cream. And I felt a little different, my body, because when you do carnivore for a while, your body gets very sensitive to what's going on around it or through it. And I felt different. I could feel, it's like almost like I don't know if everybody's like this, but almost like I could feel my cells buzzing around, waking up. I cut back on fat. I don't eat meat with butter on it anymore. I just had my first bacon. When's the last time I had bacon? several weeks ago. I just had some bacon, but I had been eating pork belly, which is just a slab of bacon that's not been cured and not been smoked. That's all it is, a big slab. But I chopped it up and made it into pieces I cut the length of it, I cut in half, and then I cut those up into, I don't know, they're about inch square and about 5 inches long. And I just chop those up into little 1 inch strips and fry them. It's good. I don't eat a lot of it, but I do eat it because I've got so much of it now. I stocked up on it just before I found out I should be cutting back on fat a little bit because it's not really, it's like experimental. Some things work for some and not for others. Hi, 4 people watching. Hello, hello. Anyway, so I cut back on the fat. Also, they have done studies where if you eat earlier, like from 8 in the morning till 3 in the afternoon, 2 or 3 in the afternoon, they said even people that did keto and carnivore, both didn't matter. They did a study where they took half the people, they let them eat whenever, like till 5 or 6, and then other people they did from morning till 3. And the people that did morning till 3 lost way more weight, had a lot better results. Carnivore or than the other ones that ate later in the day, which I thought was really interesting. They said it did something special to the body, which I thought, okay, well, I can work with that. So a lot of the things I'm doing, unless I get so used to them that I don't think about wanting to get, I've got cat hair everywhere. Oh my gosh. But if even on my coffee cup, oh, you little turd. Anyway, even if I get used to eating that way and it doesn't bother me, I'll just keep doing it. I don't mind because I used to never eat after 6 anyway, ever. Never eat after 6 o'clock. Getting bad habits is really easy into bad habits, especially if you're around somebody else that does it. But so I stopped at 3. So last week, stopped cream. That was really the only, I had a little bit of cheese now and then, but maybe once a week or once every 2 weeks. So I stopped dairy, except for butter. And I very rarely even get into the butter now. I cut back on fat. I'm using MCT oil, but only about 2 tablespoons. I think today I did 3 and it about gagged me. That was too much. Eating earlier. Oh, excuse me. Oh, that was August 7th because I started that. So that was Thursday. That was last Thursday. So it was a little bit longer. And I started weighing myself just because I wanted to see if it was doing anything. So on the 10th, which would have been, what, a week ago? On the 10th, I weighed 195.6. Well, for the last 4 months, I've weighed 200. I did have a day when I thought I lost weight, but it turned out it was just the scale. I must have been stepping on it wrong. So now I weigh myself twice to make sure. And tested twice. August 3rd, 3 and 4. Whatever. On the 11th, I weighed 194.2. On the 12th, I weighed 193.4. On the 13th, I weighed 193.8. So I went up a little bit, 4.4. And then the 15th, yesterday, I weighed 193.8. Today I weighed 193.6. So I've lost 6.4 pounds in a week. Go figure. It probably is coming off quickly though. I thought the more the fat, the better, keto or carnivore. I love. Yeah, I had to train. Oh, so anyway, I did a 2-day fast. If you're doing keto, yeah, eating earlier in the day is better anyway, because it gives your body time to process that. And what I did was when I first did that, I got hungry. I got a little bit hungry, not like, I got to eat. But it's like, oh, I'm just used to it. It was more of a habit thing. So I just drank water or I drank a pop. I drank a sugar or like a Zevia pop. And I haven't been doing the exogenous ketones since I started losing weight either. It might have been just enough to kick me out. I think the fasting I think the fasting and the exogenous ketones that I took while I was doing that, because I did drink them while I was doing that, um, people were saying it spiked their blood sugar. And it may have, but it's giving you the ketones you need, which is what, so it's kind of the lesser of two evils. My main thing is getting rid of the, oh, something else I started doing. I didn't write it down. Would have been a week, at least a week ago. I wrote it somewhere. I saw Dr. Bickman, I think it is Bickman, talking, and I got to take some of this, talking about taking aspirin. I think I talked about this last week. I take one a day. Some people can't if they're on blood thinners, so be aware. They said after 6 months, people who had insulin resistance dropped it by 30% just taking this. And what's holding people up from losing weight is if you have insulin resistance, it makes it really hard, if not impossible, to lose weight. So this is the other thing. So what is the magic pill here? I quit doing cream before and nothing happened. That was my second month. I don't know if that's part of it or not. I started doing the salt water a month ago and I didn't lose any weight. So it's not the salt. The fasting, I think it might be this. It might be the aspirin. I don't know, but I'm taking it every day. I got enough for 3 months. So I'm wondering if after 6 months or after a year, if it totally eradicates the insulin resistance. I'm also taking papaya leaf tea. Been doing that for heart every single day for the last week, which helps with liver function. And if you've got a fatty liver, you're going to have insulin resistance. So they go hand in hand. I've got this written down somewhere. I remember writing it. Tea. So I've been doing that. I've been doing that for the last week, and I suddenly started losing weight. And you figure 5 pounds, 6 pounds, how much have I lost? 193.6 is 6.4 pounds. 6 pounds in a week. You figure a gallon of water weighs 8 pounds, and think how heavy that is. That's how much I've lost. Is that what you see? Hi, Eunice. Yeah, thank you. It's about time, huh? I'm still afraid to believe it's real because it's taken so long. You never know how much it's going to be, Teresa. Now you can go on a stall. If you go on a stall on carnivore, what I've heard different ladies saying is when they stall out and they're not losing weight, they're noticing that their clothes are fitting different and they're getting muscles. So you're not stalled out from losing weight. Because remember, for my family, remember that fat weighs a lot less than muscle. So you can still be displacing fat. You might be losing fat, but you're putting on muscle during these stalls. A lot of them said they started getting toned and their skin was starting to suck up. Also, if you've got sagging skin, excuse me, geez, I put onion powder on my hamburger. It might be making me burp. I have to watch out. Anyway, you'll, if you want to do that, do fasting, not just intermittent, because there were times I only ate once a day. That's intermittent fasting. I'm truly fasting is that every 24 hours you eat. Like eating only once at 3 o'clock every day, that's fasting. That's 24-hour fasting. I don't plan on doing that all the time. But if it helps kicks things into gear and gets your mitochondria going, I've been very ill for a long time. But check this out. It looks like I got to look on the feed. I'm watching the feed. This just yesterday. It's still there. It's still rough, but it's not bright red like it was. So this stuff is trying to, it's still rough up here where I had the rest of it, but it's not as red as it was. So the inflammation is going. Fatty liver is caused by drinking or a lot of processed foods. I think I had it one time. Yeah, it doesn't take much to get. I was doing keto, Eunice. I did keto for the last 8 years and I had fatty liver. Keto didn't help it. You have to, yeah, at stress, a lot of things cause fatty liver. And it's very, they said they never used to see it until fairly recently. They can't figure out why it's happening. Well, think about all the stress we've been through with COVID and all the other garbage going on. The stress really messes up the body so bad. I got a sore throat from drinking my coffee this morning. I don't know why. I think because what I do is I take coffee. I had a mocha coffee flavored coffee stuff I bought for on sale. I've been drinking it for like the last 4 days, 3 days. So I put some stevia in it, chocolate stevia. I put a little cinnamon in it, sprinkle of cinnamon. It might have been because I put too much MCT oil in it because I put more than I usually do. And I started getting a sore throat the last couple of drinks out of it. So anyway, yeah, you can get rid of it, Teresa. You're not that old. No, you can get rid of it. The autophagy, when you do a fast, like a 1 day or 2 days, if you can do it, and if you have to stop a half hour before your 24 hours up, I don't think your body's going to care. Um, you do that over time, and what happens is your body will start eating up, those crepey cells. What makes a crepey cell? Those are excess skin cells, and your body will start to eat those up. It's like a little Pac-Man. It will also apparently, as a doctor, was it Dr. Berg said yesterday, it'll eat up cancer cells too. Okay, you've had that happen too. Too much MCT. I kind of thought it was. Usually I'm good with 1 or 2 tablespoons in my coffee, but I squeezed the bottle. It's like, oh, that was probably too much. And then it doesn't mix in. And it's like, I'm going to try. I don't know why it wouldn't work. I'm going to make mayonnaise with MCT oil. I don't know if MCT gets hard in the fridge. I'll have to put something in there. I'll put a little bit of it in there and see if it gets hard. Probably does because it's coconut oil. But if it doesn't, I'll make mayonnaise with it. That's a good way to eat because I love deviled eggs. Pretty good. Do stuff like that. So anyway, you have the crepey skin, the sagging. Something I noticed with people that did keto and eventually it did carnivore is when they lost the weight, their skin didn't sag. It actually tightened up and got nicer. And they looked as young as their kids. It was the weirdest thing. That's the first thing I noticed when I started digging into keto years ago. It was all these before and after pictures. It's like, man, they look like they could be 20 years old. And they had grown up kids. That was really shocking. Oh, that's a good idea, Eunice. It's so expensive. Do you get yours at Costco? I can't remember. I bought mine so long ago. I quit using it for a long time. But after watching, I started using it when was it? I started reusing it again. I think when I started doing carnivore. I just use a little bit here and there. I didn't use very much. But then um, when I saw that the MCT oil helps, I started really using it 2 or 3 weeks ago when I watched Dr. Bosworth's video on how good MCT oil was for ketosis. Because if you have a fatty liver, you can't get into ketosis. Doesn't matter what you do. I mean, you might for a short time, you get right out of it again. You'll wake up. Your liver, when you have a fatty liver, excuse me, you can go do carnivore, eat no carbs, no sugar, and get up in the morning and your blood sugar is going to be high. So where'd the sugar come from? Came from that stinking little fatty liver. It will manufacture it. If it can't find it, it's going to make it. It's like, how does it do that? But it does. So you get rid of that fatty liver and that problem goes away. Nature's Way brand. It's the cleanest brand from what I read. Okay. How much was it? Did you get like a quart of it or something? Because I don't know what brand I bought in Costco. Let me go grab it. But yeah, I should do that. Probably after I get off here, I will put a little bit in the fridge and see if it gets hard. Hopefully not. It didn't get hard in my cabinet last winter, and it got pretty cold in here. Let me go look. I had my breakfast just a few minutes ago, so. Okay, so this is the brand SR. I got this at Costco probably 2 or 3 years ago. From organic coconuts, keto fuel blends with coffee, and she didn't blend. It doesn't, it floats on top. I even took my little stir thing. It would in shakes, unflavored, vegan, dairy, and gluten-free keto. Natural variations may occur. Product of the Philippines, packaged in Canada. And that might be coming to a stop. Ingredients: organic MCT oil from non-GMO verified organic coconuts. Says it will react with certain plastics, including foam cups, and should only be used with utensils and containers made of metal, glass, ceramic, or safe HDPE PET plastics, which must be what they sell it in. But I think this was like 13, but I think it went up a lot. But anyway, this is what I got. I've used half of it. 18 for the big size. This is 40 ounces, so it's over a quart. 8 ounces, a quart and 8 ounces. Yeah. Hi PK. I don't know if this would go bad on wood. I don't think it would. I've had this for several years, 2-3 years, and nothing has changed with it. As a matter of fact, I bought MCT oil for my business. I used it in some of my products years ago, and it's still good. It's never gone rancid. Hemp oil, oof, that goes rancid fast. So does apricot oil, apricot seed oil. There are a few oils that go rancid really fast, so I learned not to use them. Well, it's got it's got oil all over it. Anyway, yeah, so that is, if you take that daily, it's supposed to help with your ketones if you're doing carnivore or keto. One of these will help with acid or with insulin resistance. I really think this is what's helping the most. I'm not sure, but I think it is. It's just taking one of these, and I've only been doing it for a week. Within a couple of days of doing this, if I could find my receipt, I could tell you the day I started taking it, because the day I started taking it was the day I bought it. This is just aspirin. It's Walmart brand aspirin, 81 milligrams. It was like $3. Why do you get neck and muscle spasms? Bad one neck. I mean, AC is probably the AC, because your muscles are tensing up, trying to get warm. So think about it. What happens when you flex your muscles a lot? You get hot. I'll bet it's the AC. I'll bet you. But PK, are you doing carnivore or keto? Because carnivores do get muscle cramps. I noticed I was getting them in my calves. I started stretching. I don't know. When I start stretching, I know I'm getting in better shape. I know my body is high cortisol. It can be high cortisol, but it could be low magnesium. If you're taking a lot of vitamin D3 and you're not taking magnesium with it, you could be low in magnesium. I think I'm running through magnesium because my calves are started. First, it was my right calf. I was getting cramps in my right calf when I stretched in the morning. It's like, whoa, I'd never had one there before. It's like, ee. And I reached down and grabbed my calf, and the muscle was just rock hard. And so I had to kind of pinched it really hard, kind of like gave it extra. Actually, according to Dr. Berg, you should do the other leg. Start squeezing on the other leg, and the sympathetic system will actually force that other one to relax, which is weird. I haven't tried that yet, because you just go for the one that hurts. But the other day, my left one started doing it when I stretched. And stretching is like trying to get oxygen into the muscles and into the body and all that, waking up. But no, it was messing with me. So I even took magnesium. I took magnesium citrate. I took Natural Calm. And the next morning I still had the cramp, which was weird. But I just made sure I was doing a lot of that. But it can be because what happens when you take vitamin D3 and you don't take magnesium and K2 with it enough. A lot of people, I think we're just not taking enough magnesium. Turns out some of us need a lot of magnesium. And doing carnivore your whole body composition kind of changes. But the calcium, the free calcium in the body starts messing with you, and that can cause some problems. So you got to take that magnesium to counter that. Oh, you're pushing yourself in the heat. You're low in electrolytes. I'll about guarantee that's what's going on. You need your magnesium because I make my electrolyte mix. It's got magnesium, potassium, and salt in it, which I haven't taken lately. I don't know. I just get kind of distracted, but I did take that. I did help, but I've got to make magnesium glycinate powder that I make my electrolyte drink with. So yeah, you need to make sure you're doing your electrolytes. If you don't like making it, buy the element, LMNT. That's what it's got in it. I've got the element recipe and that's what I made mine. And it's a lot cheaper to make it. Yes, cortisol is a stress hormone. And if you're working out a lot and you're doing it in the heat, that's a big stress. Big stress. So it could be that too. So Eunice is probably very likely right on that. What else did I do? Gosh, there was something I did want to talk about. I crossed my mind, but I didn't finish. Yes, cortisol is a stress hormone. Now, if you're burned out, like I was type A all my life, and that didn't help my stress situation. I was under a lot of stress, and I liked it. I liked stress. I mean, the right kind. I liked like driving my four-wheel drive on roads that might flip my car over, pushing it to the max, pushing it right to the limit, seeing how well I could just. I like doing stuff like that, but I can't do that because uh, a a lifetime of doing that destroys it destroys your body. Yeah, the stress really messes with you. So what else did I do? I did something else that I was taking or doing that helped with things. Anyway, so salt. Yeah, this is something you might want to do, PK, is take a half teaspoon of Himalayan salt in hot water in the morning. Um, and then again in the afternoon, do it in cold. You can do it in cold water. Sometimes I'll take a can of seltzer, like a grapefruit flavor or whatever. I have a thermos thing that I drink out of. I'll fill it with ice cubes, put a half teaspoon of my electrolytes in there, or I will put salt in there and then pour the seltzer water on top and give it a gentle shake. And so it's like a little salty type drink. And it's actually really good. The first time I sipped it, I was like, I don't know if I like that. And I took another sip, I was like, it's not so bad. But if you need the salt, it's not going to taste repulsive to you. And I've never had to throw it out. It's always tasted good to me. Yeah. Yeah, the heat. Well, because you're the stress. You're under stress. There's other stressors in your life probably that are adding to that. A lifetime of stress is accumulative. Your body hangs on to the stress even after the stressor is gone. And you have to figure out ways to throw that off. If it's sitting in a hot tub or getting a massage, I wish. I need to win the lottery, so I get a massage every day. Oh man, it makes my back feel so good. Um, what else? Things that make you feel good. Reading a book, sitting by a nice fire in the wintertime and petting the kitty cat. Things that just think about. I used to walk. I remember with last walk I took with my mom. We were walking down the road right there because we used to walk all around. We'd walk like 3 or 4 miles a day together. And we were always going for walks, winter and summer, rain, shine. And I told her, because she'd been through a lot of stress with my dad's issues and stuff. And I said, what I've been doing when I was walking, I haven't had the energy. I might have energy now to walk. I'm feeling a little bit better. But I would, just as I was swinging my hands, thinking about throwing the stress out of my fingertips as I walked, swinging my arms out, 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 and just just the thought in my head of doing that was enough because your brain thinks it's true, it's real. Not eating enough, but working way too hard. Yes, you got to be careful. Yeah, PK. If I was you, if you're working out a lot and doing it really busy, try if I don't know if you're doing carnivore, but it's a really good diet for somebody that's busy because you make your dinner and you can eat once or twice. Most carnivores only eat once or twice a day. because you just stay full. Um, you have you can get away with a lot of fat, especially if you don't need to lose weight. A lot of fat. Some people need more fat to lose weight. My ex he lost so much weight and then he stopped. And he says, I just started eating more fat and I started coming off again. But what when you just fry up a steak, get a air fryer, throw it in at 400. Like if you have thick steak, throw it in there at 400 for 7 minutes. Pull it out, season it, and eat it. You're done. Go out and do your work. Go out and run. Do whatever. It's super fast, super easy. You just got to eat it and then go. Oh, stress with the family. That's a biggie. That's a real big because that's something that's hard to avoid. Um, but yeah, do if you're gonna do it, just do carnivore. Um, and that really helps. And it's for guys, it's a lot easier because they love, like salami, hot dogs, bacon, eggs. And you might be one that can do cheese and stuff. I don't know. Yeah. Yep. I do. It's just I haven't been pushing it. Um, my I have an upstairs bedroom that has all my stuff in it except for my containers. All my stuff's in there. It's all over the room. It's a library, bedroom. It's my business area actually, and it's all tore up. I'm trying to get it organized. I've got to call these people, they're Seventh-day Adventists, but they offer to come in and help where you can't do things because I need my bookcase flipped over and put together so I can put my things in it and start organizing that room. So I haven't really been pushing because I've got boxes of things stacked in front of drawers of a dresser. I've got things stored in. It's a chaotic mess up there. But yeah, so I haven't been pushing it on my show too much. I can do. Silver stuff is easy for me to do. That's not in there. Um, you need more fat? Oh yeah, air fryers are the bomb. I gave one to my ex to use for when he's up here staying working on his trailer. And then I found I started doing like 2 weeks later I started doing carnivore. And I'm like, oh, I need a air fryer. Even though he's probably there 4 times a year. But no, I just went and bought one. So I went and bought one. You'll like it, Teresa. You'll really like it. You'll find a lot of use out of it. Um, yeah, I've cooked all kinds of stuff in there. Yeah, my throat's sore from that. It's right around my thyroid, so it's probably working on my thyroid. Okay. Let's see what else. Gosh, it was something. Hmm. 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 But I did do my 2-day fast. I did another fast yesterday, a 24-hour fast. My skin's getting a little better in certain places, not every. Oh, if you're doing carnivore, and a lot of people don't know this yet, just found out myself recently. Jill Kay, she had oxalate, something they call oxalate dumping, where she talked about it on my show, where you get these little, she had it on her face a lot, little like a pimple thing, and then this rock hard oxalate would come out of the skin. It's like a crystal. And they found out that um, magnesium helps with, that's what it was. He was talking about the D3 and the calcium. He said if you don't have enough magnesium, he says people that they stop eating spinach, high oxalate foods to stop this, and they don't want this accumulation in their body. He says the very foods that you're avoiding are the most magnesium rich foods that prevent the oxalates from forming. He says some magnesium, you need to start taking magnesium. So she's doing that now. She started taking extra magnesium. So she'll see, because she was getting it really bad oxalate dumping. I haven't had any problem with it. Uh, I'm in fighting shape for 43 for a reason. By far the best of my life. Awesome. Awesome. Let me see. I think my thing is covering up some of the word. Yeah. God help my attacker. Yeah. Funnel your rage. Funnel your rage that you can pull up from your belly. Let's see. You need to order some silver? It's out there. Um, yeah, that's funny how it's messing with my throat. I'll have to take some sore throat stuff. So I know I had something else. I don't remember what it was. Let me look at my notes. Have I got anything of interest? No, but it's just in a week. They say 1 or 2 pounds a week is healthy, but I haven't lost weight for 4 months. And so my 4 month point and was it 13th week, I lost probably the weight I should have been losing for the last couple of months. Anyway, well, we'll see where I'm at next week. It'll be kind of fun to see, because if I'd like to keep losing fairly quickly. It may cause some loose skin, it may not, because when I did keto, I didn't have any sagging. My skin just tightened up. I didn't even know I'd lost weight, but I didn't see any sagging until, let's see, I noticed about a month and a half ago. No, it wasn't. It was a month ago. All of a sudden, my butt started sagging. I could actually feel my skin touching. It was like, is going on overnight. It literally happened overnight. And my face suddenly said, and I'm like, okay, I'm missing something in my body. I'm losing some, but it's not doing it. So it's picked back up again, which is weird. Usually that's usually copper or zinc. Yeah, it was really weird. But no, I've got the lighter skin. It's not bright red like it usually is. And I've got it, it's still red, like on my belly button, I think. Let me look. Yeah, it's still red on my belly button. But that stuff should go away, because I think that is a sign of insulin resistance. So what else was I doing for that? I've been more active. I mean, I've felt better, so I'm getting out. Productive things. Yep. So I've been sleeping. Try to sleep also. Try to get to sleep earlier and try to have good sleep. I do wake up around 4 o'clock in the morning. Now it's 6 o'clock. So somebody must be, because my bedroom window faces the road. The road's about 50 feet away from my bedroom window. Or the skunk. Sometimes the skunk wakes me up because he stinks. But no, I've noticed for the last couple of weeks, I've been waking up either at 4 in the morning or 6 in the morning. So it's somebody driving by. It's got to be, because it's constant. Um, I'll kind of come out of a sound sleep and be like, when you get to that level, where it's like, if you can just go right back down again, or are you going to think about something and be conscious? It's like, oh, I'm conscious, dang it. So sometimes it's Haas coming up and laying on my head. But yeah, get your sleep, because that's really important. That's when you heal. That's when you lose weight. That's when your body does all its processing, because when you're up and running around, just being awake is stress, and you're busy and blah, 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 blah. Your body's doing stuff. When you're sleeping, it's like it's a relaxed time when your body can actually function like it's supposed to internally and start doing things. Sleep's very important. Oop, here we go. Another hot flash. I hate it when I get my bed. I used to have an iron bed. It was my dad's old bed. And I would wrap my arms through it when I'd get hot, because that iron would, my body would suck that cold up and cool me off. But now it's wood. So out of habit, I'd put my arms up. And it's like, there's nothing cold there. There's a wood bed. And it's like, oh man. So anyway, yeah, I'm glad. I'm happy that I'm finally starting to lose weight. Did I know? Yes, my belly is not as big. So a lot of it's coming out of my belly. I do still have insulin resistance. I don't know how far down it has to go before you can actually body starts losing the weight. But like I said, I weighed myself twice on that scale, because I'm afraid it's like, is this just a fluke? Am I just going to run right? Because it's like it went up that one time. I thought I was down to 194 when I got up. I only weighed myself once. I should have done it twice to see because I'm sure it was the scale was having a malfunction. I might have been touching something. Excuse me, because this scale, you have to, when you get on it, you have to move fast. So it's up in the bathroom now. It's white, so you can't really see it on the floor because my floor is white up there. So I have to kick my shoes off and put one hand on the shower, one hand on the sink, and put my left foot up on it and my right foot really fast because it'll get a read within about 5 or 10 seconds. Oh, there goes the buck. The buck, the buck. Where's he going? He might be a new one. He's got a nice coat. Oh, there goes another one. They're running like reindeer. Something scared him. I haven't seen him for a few days. I was gonna mow the grounds. I probably will in a couple days. It's getting pretty ratty looking, but I left it. I left the alfalfa up high for them to eat because they come in here. They're safe in here behind the fence. People can't get to them. So I call them my goats. My goat. So anyway, I'm happy. I was starting to lose the little bit of weight. Well, actually, a lot of weight. That's a lot of weight for 1 week, and I hope it keeps going like that. Um, it doesn't look like I've lost weight, but I have because I noticed I've got to start taking profile pictures again because my gut was so big. I've got double D's, and my gut was sticking out that far. It looked like I was about ready to have a kid. That's how bad it was. But I noticed like now when I look down, I got fat there, but it's not like sticking way out. I could almost put a dinner plate on it. So that's a lot of it came out of my stomach, which is good. I just heard chlorine. Oh, really? Chlorine pucks crumbled up can repel skunks and hedgehogs. We don't have hedgehogs here. Oh, that's a good thing to know. Chlorine pucks. I wonder how far what the range is for those, because he walks right under my bedroom. He comes right up here on my porch right next to me. He has no shame. I see him out romping around there's 3 of them that I know of. There might be 4. But they wander around like it's their property. Chlorine pucks. It's probably the smell of the chlorine. Well, that's good to know. I'll try that because little boogers are driving me crazy. Okay, let's see. Try to think. Oh, did I tell you guys last week? I can't remember. Did I tell you last week? I got accepted see how big my arm is. I'm looking forward to that going away. And I do think some of this sag, actually it has. I can see it. There's a line and then a line. So I was just one big sag hole here. So yeah, this will be interesting. So you guys can see, you can see the lumpy bumps, and I haven't been doing my vibration plate. I need to start doing that. Oh, something last night I was getting, oddly enough, I was getting nerve pain in felt like somebody poking me with a needle in my calf, and one of them was on the arch of my foot. I'm getting weird nerve pain. I've started taking B1 and I stopped. I got to take it again. I noticed in the bathtub today when I took my bath, my stomach looked a lot smaller. I'm like, yeah, woohoo, good for you, Teresa. Isn't that nice? It's like finally some payback for all the trouble. Because it could be a pain in the butt. I never have done much for going out and eating, but it's nice when somebody says, hey, let's go to dinner, that you can actually do. I did. Well, I went to dinner. And I just said, I don't want no potato, whatever came with it. I just want the meat. That's what I ate. I just, and the things that came with it, like the salad or the soup or whatever, I gave it to somebody else at the table. So you can do it. It's expensive, but you can do it. But yeah, I'm glad that you're losing. That's awesome. Good news. Anyway, I don't remember if I told you, I did get accepted to Dr. Barry's coach training. Starts in 2 weeks, September 1st. I don't know how long the class, he hasn't said yet how long the classes last per day. I don't know what time they start. He said there will be a lot of homework, which is fine. I'm trying to get things around here outside cleaned up. I got a lot of painting of furniture to do before it gets cold. I got some things I've got for sale. I wish they would sell, but nothing's moving right now. Things just aren't selling, which is a bummer. Because I've got two beautiful dressers. One's an antique, absolutely beautiful, and I painted it. I made it look a lot better. It was in rough shape, and I fixed it up and put really nice pulls on it and all that stuff. Put it up for sale. No bites. Well, actually, I did have a bite. It was a spammer. I had two spammers call me on it. But I'm noticing that things on Facebook aren't moving. Things on Craigslist are not really moving either. Even the really good deals. It's kind of sad. The economy still, especially I live in Washington State, doesn't help. But yeah, things are still slow. I'm thinking strong. I just don't know about the state. I'm hoping that President Trump is able to clean it up with the vote fraud because we're in really bad shape here. In a lot of ways, we're even worse in California. But I've got some property. I'm thinking, do any of you guys know anybody, real estate type person in California that is, I want to sell. I've got some property I need to sell. And a property on the other side of town. It was empty. There were 40 acres, I think, or 44 acres. And it was just scrub pine, sold for $4 million. Well, I've got 40 or 38, I can't remember, 40 acres. It's got two wells on it, highway frontage, southern exposure, gentle slope, a view of the entire valley. I think you can see Idaho from the house. And then it has a house that's you'll have to be bulldozed. It's an earth home. And then you can see the Columbia River from it. But I need to know because I want to sell it. With what's going on in the state, I may have to sell this place too. But if I can sell the other place, I want to get big money for it because it's worth big money. But I want to get rid of that and get the money so I can buy a place someplace else and I need retirement money too. But I do want to set up a business, like a storefront type business, because when I do my counseling, I can do it all on the computer, but I do want a storefront for other things because I have hobbies I like to do, and I'd like to be able to sell stuff in there and maybe even run my business out of there. I don't know. But the way things are going here, that they just appraised everything at 25% higher value for no particular reason. Oh, the market in 2023, the market, blah, blah, blah. It didn't go up. It was going down. So, oh, I hope that's true, Teresa. I hope so. I hope so. Get roommates. Yeah, that won't work. That won't work. I shouldn't have to put it that way. I shouldn't have to have roommates. But I do have that property. I do want to sell it. And I'm not doing anything with it. I bought it because it was in the family and it was sentimental type stuff. But on this house here and then that property over there, that's all my inheritance money went into that. It was investment type things. And this house here, I had a guy at the auction offer. He says, "How much do you want for this place?" And I said, "Well, it's not for sale. I just bought it." And he says, "I will give you anything you ask for this place. And I don't care what number you put on it. I will buy this place." And that's this house here. And this property is 2.5 acres. It is a unique property. When they tried to find a comparative property for valuation, nothing. This is on a corner lot, 2.5 acres, all fenced. It's got orchard, got a shop, got a ton of storage sheds. This house, and I'm right across the street from town. So I'm in the county, and not in town. So I have different taxation stuff. Yep, they get more tax. That's why they're doing it. Oh, you turned 62 in January. Awesome. Awesome. Happy birthday. Early birthday. Hopefully the Social Security amounts go up because the inflation is killing. killing everyone. So anyway, yeah, this place here, I just figured if I could sell that place over there, it's perfect for wine growing, for a vineyard. It's got Sally said it was an artesian well, but my mom and dad both told me it was an aquifer. When they at the lower end, where the lower end faces the highway, well, it all faces the highway, but the lower end is flat, so you could put a business there. My dad was going to put a Harley dealership there, but they wouldn't give him a franchise. But it's flat there, so they could put a business there, a winery. The rest could be for wine, grapes, and whatever, or any kind of business. They could sell water. They could do a lot with it. Uh, excuse me. But the guy that sold the property on the other side of town, it was just flat. And it had trees, some scrub pine on it, but it was really nothing. There was nothing there, no wells, no improvements, nothing. And he paid 4 million for that. So I'm guessing maybe 5.5 on this hillside would probably be. I figured somebody in California would have the money for it. But I've been praying for God to bring me somebody that would buy it. And if I could, and plus our excise taxes are going up, our sales tax for property, all that stuff's going up. But if I got rid of that, then I could buy a place out of Washington State, probably live there in the wintertime, and eventually, because I've got emotional attachments to this house and this property itself. This is only address I've ever had, ever had. And I eventually possibly could turn loose of this because this state's going to go, either it's going to tank completely into a communist crap hole, or it's going to recover when our vote fraud's taken care of and we get good leaders here. We've had things stolen. Our governorship's been stolen for the last 40 years. It's been stolen from everybody that ran for it that was any good. So hopefully get that done. But get that sold, and that'd allow me to help people too. I think about it a lot, being able to help people they're hurting for money. That, I mean, you got some people that have access, they've got things, but you got some people that, like on PSB, that listen and are just dirt poor, and they might need something. They don't want to ask for it, or they don't have any way of accessing. And I've been that poor. I have been so poor that I was one argument away from living in my car. Just I've been excessively poor, and you become damaged from that. And so when you have things, you kind of want to hang on to them. That's what happens with hoarders, I think. My light just came on my computer right next to my camera. I don't know what that is or why it's there. I've never seen it pop on before. Anyway, yeah, I've been really poor before. It's not fun. It's a really stressful place to be. So these people that are homeless, feel so bad for them. My dream is to live by the grape arbor, and I would sit in the chair all day and eat grapes. I've got a bunch of Concord. Where do you live at, Teresa? I've got a huge Concord grape plant my dad planted. Yeah, maybe I'll box them up and send them to you. I made grape juice with them and canned it, and I've also made grape wine, which turned out terrible. I got a lot of different kinds of grapes here, actually. My mom planted a bunch before she left. So yeah, grape arbors. One lady I knew, she had a grape plant at her house, and she'd lived there 50 years. And they tried to get rid of the grapes a couple of times, and they kept coming back, but her arbors kept breaking, and she was using the big fence posts. Finally, they ended up using railroad ties because the grapes got so huge and heavy. They tore down everything they put them on. But, gosh, I wish I could remember. But yeah, I got accepted into that class, and I'm going to be doing that for 6 months. I'll be starting September 1st, and it gets over 6 months later. And Dr. Barry said that it's all inclusive. He said that I'll be learning, and he's only accepting 200 people, which is a lot, but he's only accepting 200. So they're going to teach you how to set up your business, how to do taxes, how to get customers, how to set up the website, everything. He said before the class is over that we'd have clients for our thing, which is good. Thank you, Don. Yeah, I'm pretty excited about it. So, that's pretty much one of my passions. I hate seeing people sick. I hate seeing them unhealthy because they don't understand it's in their control. 99% of the time, it's in their control to change things. They just don't know because nobody's ever told them. It's not that hard. It's what you're putting in your mouth. Really, really it is. I mean, 30, 40 years ago, excuse me, you really didn't see people, overweight people in wheelchairs needing a cart at Walmart to push their body around. And it doesn't take that much food, that much poison to do, excuse me, to do that to somebody. And it's really sad. I hate seeing that. And so they could be having a healthy, happy life. Instead, they're wheelchair bound, they're depressed. And you see people like that, they go, oh, why don't you just quit eating? You probably eat more than they do. Their metabolism is so broken that they could be eating 300 calories a day. Never point fingers at people like that because you can't tell me they haven't tried to lose weight before. That man up in Alaska that weighed, was it 800 pounds? He's lost half his body weight. You say it's been a year? I don't think it's been a year yet. But he said he's already rumping around and going all over the place. He's mobile again, or before he couldn't leave his house. Um, just changing what he ate. His medicines, he talked about the medicines he was on. Uh, yeah, he's impressive. He's a very positive guy. He's Christian. A lot of Christians do carnivore. A lot. I'm shocked. I'm glad. You live in Indiana? Oh, my family comes from Indiana. Right. You like to help people. Yep. Well, with your finances, you do have to take care of yourself first. Because if you, and it's taken, because I was always one of those people, I wanted to help other people and I would always take care of them. And I always came last. That was something that as I was a kid, I learned that when I was a kid, everybody else is more important. Um, and that's not good because if you don't take care of yourself first, what happens when you burn out? You won't be any help to anybody. They really have to learn to make a priority of taking care of yourself first, which for me is very hard. Um, well, look at, I'm going into counseling. Is that taking care of myself first? Not really. I guess I'm learning things so I can help myself when I'm counseling. But yeah, it's where do you live in Indiana? What part of the state? My family lived in Cambridge City area. They're buried in the Cambridge City Cemetery, I think. Some of them are. And some of them are up in Fairmount where James Dean was born or lived. Some of them are up there. We lived in there too. But yeah, I got relatives all over Indiana. Or I did have, they're starting to die out now. Okay, well, let's see. Sun's coming out. I got work to do outside. I got things to do. Doing, like as if you guys are low in energy, try taking a little bit of salt in water. It's not going to hurt you. Um, if you are worried about having a fatty liver, aspirin, if you can take it, just 81 milligrams a day. I was looking for buffered stuff, but this hasn't been bought. They said out of 1,000 people, only one person had a problem because I did have a reaction to aspirin years ago when I lived in Florida, but it didn't have, this stuff has a coating on it. Um, Actually, I had it twice. I had a problem with it. Once I got one of the tablets stuck in my throat and it burned. God, that burned. I couldn't sleep. Oh my gosh. That was when I was like 20. But when I lived in Florida, it burned a hole in my stomach. My neighbor is my age. She can barely walk. She has to have a cane or a walker, and she is in so much pain. I feel sorry for her, but I helped her as much as I can. Well, that's what she's eating. All that pain goes. I was having a lot of pain. Even doing carnivore or keto, I was having pain, but I was eating seed oil. Had no clue how. I knew it was bad, but I didn't realize how bad it was affecting me. I knew there had to be some, because anything bad is going to affect you some way, but I didn't realize it was a pain issue. When I did keto before I started carnivore, I was down to just eating meat and a salad. I'd have a salad 2 or 3, sometimes 4 times a week because I figured it was good for me. So I'd have salad with salad dressing. The salad dressing was made with seed oil, but it's a really good tasting salad dressing. I thought, well, I'm not eating that much. But it was enough, a couple tablespoons a day. And I would lay in bed and I would actually have to push my shoulders down and hold my breath and then push myself over with my breath held because my back would spasm out so bad. It would hurt so bad when I rolled over and my shoulders would hurt because I'd lay on my side. And as I lay with my shoulders like this, my shoulders would ache, my back would spaz out and ache. And I just lay there and take a breath and wait, take a breath and wait. And finally the muscles would relax and the pain, my joints were hurting. But I would, if I had to turn over the other side, I was waking up constantly because I knew when I had to turn over, I'd have to hold my breath and consciously put my elbow down, excuse me, push myself over. And then when I got, my neck would hurt. I've had injuries from car accidents, more than one. I've been rear-ended like 3 times. And then when I got up, I'd exhale and I go, hold my breath and then push myself up with my hands because I couldn't just sit up. I had to push myself up with my hands and hold my breath for a second as everything spasmed. Everything would hurt. Everything would hurt. And I'd sit there. And okay, time to get up. So I was able to, I'd push myself up with my hands and stand up. I was like, okay. But everything was hurting all the time, hurting. And I just got so used to it, I didn't think about it. And I have to stand there for a few seconds. I'd take my first step and my back, lower back would hurt. My feet would hurt. I'd get dressed. My right leg, because of an accident that I had, apparently I broke my hip back 30 years, 20 years ago. And I got scoliosis in it. But I noticed I couldn't raise my right leg as high as my left leg. So I'd have a hard time getting dressed. And I always have to hang on to something. But no, that was my morning every single morning. I don't remember how far it was into carnivore. That was on keto. That was from those stinking seed oils. A week into carnivore, maybe. I know the second night on carnivore, I slept like the best I've ever slept. I slept through the night. I slept hard and I had good dreams. My dreams were all nightmare, freakish, stupid, weird things. They were good dreams. But I think it was a week or 2 into carnivore. I noticed I was able to get out of bed. And it's like, whoa, I just rolled over and it didn't hurt. Whoa, I just stood up and it didn't hurt. And also getting up out of a chair. I don't have to push myself up anymore. Look at this. I can stand right up. A month ago, no, 2 months ago, I couldn't do that. Halfway through, my muscles, which tells me now when you have to push, because I was always pushing myself up out of a chair like that, because these arms that have tiny little muscles in them, this is all fat, not muscle. My arms were stronger than my legs and my butt. Guess what that is? That's a sign of cortisol. When you get adrenal weakness from excessive prolonged stress, that stress wants protein. You're not eating enough protein. It starts going for the biggest muscle group in the body, which is your butt and your thighs. And so they get very weak and you have to, and there's certain medicines that'll do that to you too. But you get to where you have to push yourself up because your muscles in your legs and your butt don't have the strength. And I did notice my butt was getting really flat. It's because the cortisol was eating it all up. Oh, Knightstown. I know where that's at. I've been there. Yep, I know. I've been through Knightstown a couple times actually when we were doing our genealogy about 20 years ago. Yeah, nice place. I like Knightstown. I did. I remember driving down the street. I remember some of the roads, businesses. I can see things in my head, like pictures I take in my head when I go places. Anyway, yeah. So if you're pushing yourself up with your hands, that's not normal. That's an adrenal issue. That's stress. And that can come not just from, I'll tell you what, doing keto, that's how I knew. That's how I knew how toxic food was when I started doing keto. It's just like, oh my gosh. Because what happened when I started doing keto, I had big stressors in my life. I've talked about this before. After my dad died, and then my mom died, we had this executor from hell who hated us. She literally hated us with a passion. She hated my mom and dad too. She was not taken off. Well, she was taken off the will, but oddly enough, the only one anybody could find was the will that she was on from 1984, which was changed within the year. And they'd update. I remember they were updating the will just a few years before my dad died. Not even a year before my dad died, they were updating their will because they told me they were going to do that. I never did see another will. Don't know whatever happened to him. But anyway, she was making our lives miserable. And it got to where I wouldn't want to look at my email. I didn't want to answer the phone. I didn't want to look at a text because she would write or call or harass me, and she knew what she was doing. You're like a devil in that woman. And I was so stressed. I was being traumatized. I literally was being traumatized. And it was just like, I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it. I wouldn't answer her. I wouldn't look at her emails. I just I couldn't deal with it. And I started doing keto the second time. The first time I did it was before all the bad stuff started happening. Second time I did it and I stayed with it. She, or I did it like January. I didn't do it it wasn't like a New Year's thing. It was just, I thought, okay, now it's time to do it. So I started doing keto again because I knew that I wasn't feeling good. Started doing keto, and within 3 days on keto, all of a sudden I noticed that I was able, it's like it didn't bother me when the phone rang. I didn't get this horrible feeling of doom and disaster when the phone rang. It's like, wow, that's weird because I've been feeling that for so long. And then within a week, I was like, they didn't bother me to open my email. It didn't. I'm like, wow, that was how toxic the food was. That it was actually causing so much stress on top of what she was doing. The food was a massive stressor. My body trying to fight those poisons off that were in the food. Sugar. I noticed because the main thing with keto, I got rid of the sugar and the wheat, and it was fast. I noticed it really fast. That I felt I was able to cope with things like I couldn't before. It was just like a magic. It's a light bulb came on. It's like, ta-da! It's the food, stupid. Yeah, it took me that. It's like, yeah, but within a few weeks, I didn't have a problem. Like it was like water on a duck's back rolled right off. And that was food causing that kind of trauma, and it was mind blowing. That was a huge epiphany for me. That's why I started telling people it's what you're putting in your mouth that's causing the problem. Guaranteed. I know from personal experience. Um, it's just amazing the toxins, and that's getting worse. Bill Gates and his butter made out of poop. They're purposely looking for ways to poison us. And remember when you went through all of that when your parents passed away? Yeah, it was awful. It was a nightmare. Massive stress. Massive stress. On top, yeah, trying to keep my dad alive. We were already stressed out. Then the nurse kills him and all that stuff that happened. God makes things happen for a reason. That was the worst case scenario of well, not I think there's ways that are worse than that, but it was up there. It was pretty bad. But yeah, the stress part of it destroyed my health. And keto, like I said, it took me 4 months on keto. The first time I went on it, I didn't lose any weight, and I was really frustrated. I gave up. Screw that. And that was like early summer of what year was it? 2017 or 18? Can't remember now. 17, 2017, because I started at the beginning of January of 18. Okay. So it's been 7 years I've been doing carnivore or keto. So anyway, in January, when I put my nose to the grind, so I didn't expect to lose weight. But boy, I felt better. That's the reason I went back on it, because I felt so much better on it. I didn't have the anxiety. I didn't have the joint problems. I didn't have um, what else? It helped with a lot of things, a lot. And then I started losing weight. That was a nice surprise. I really didn't expect to. And it's kind of like that this time. I wasn't sure that carnivore was going to help. And I was kind of hoping against hope, and I think it is now. I think now that I'm hopefully losing weight, but I noticed that my stomach is a lot smaller, which is nice. It's like, oh yeah, that's good. Um, it'll happen, and it might take you guys a while, and it might be. I don't know if it's because I finally found the right combination of things I needed to do. Like I said, I cut down on the fat. I cut out the dairy. I started taking the aspirin, doing the liver tea, doing the salt water. Seems like I'm doing one other thing. I can't remember what it is. Oh, and the time. Not eating after 3. See, I ate at 12, I think. I'm still stuffed. 12 or 1. I can't remember. What time did I start this? 74 minutes ago. So I must have ate at 1 because I got on here and started talking after I ate. And I might eat, if I eat at 4, around 4, it's not gonna kill me to do that. It's not like it's gonna do it, but yeah, I'm trying to keep it around 3. I want to get in that habit because you can just slowly bump it up. So like if you want to do eating it, stop eating at 3 and say you're eating at 6 each day for a week, just cut earlier by half an hour. Eat earlier by half an hour, earlier by half an hour the next day, and pretty soon you're at 3 o'clock. And if you get a little bit hungry, just get something, just drink a Zevia or ice water or something. And because what happens if you're in ketosis and you get hungry and ignore it, go do something, get busy, and your body will start burning fat for fuel. Yes, gray is a stress indicator. And I do have grays. I was actually coloring it. It's not back to its old, see, it's all kind of frizzy and it's light. My hair up here seems to be heavier, getting back to its old self. Um, and as you do carnivore, it will get back because you're getting the right vitamins. Now, I do have gray hair, though I did notice I was getting gray hair overnight. My entire strand would go gray because when you see some people, they'll have like a gray all of a sudden start coming in. You'll see, I can tell when a person has lost a parent or a child, or usually it's a parent. You'll see their hair coming out. Your hair grows until it gets 6 inches. It grows an inch a month. So if a person has this much gray hair, and sometimes it's all gray, I can tell that they had a severe loss or stress within the past 4 months to 5 months. Uh, because when you get that, it's a shock, it's a stress, and your body demands vitamin C. And I have been supplementing, and I should eat my vitamins before I get unfull. I don't take vitamins on an empty stomach. Vitamin C, zinc, copper, which you cannot take together. Take your copper first thing in the morning because your zinc will suck it out. Zinc, copper, especially for gray hair, and skin elasticity. You need that copper for elasticity. Zinc, copper, C, magnesium, selenium. I said vitamin C, right? Those are the major ones, but vitamin D. Your hair is what your body uses for a backup for minerals. So when you don't have the minerals in your body, especially when you get older, you start using that stuff up and you don't replenish it. Young kids have it, they're loaded with it. But when you get older, you don't have it. So you pull it out of your hair. And then when your hair is white, Dr. Wallach said, if you've got white hair, he says it opens you up for a aneurysm. I think he said aneurysm. I always get embolism, and I think it's aneurysm. He said it because you're lacking the minerals to keep your vein strong and flexible. That makes sense. He says that, and I think cancer was the other one. So anyway, yeah, it's I had a good week because of that, but now I'm expecting. So I'm going to be bummed out if I just start. Eventually the weight loss is going to slow down. I mean, it usually does, but if I lost 5 pounds a week for the next 2-3 months, I'd be a happy camper. Don't want to get, see, 5 pounds a week. How much is that? It'd be 20 pounds a month for 3 months. Yeah, that'd be perfect. That'd be right where I want to be. Not, be counting this week though. Yeah, my hair is growing in. I noticed when I was getting it done at the beauty parlor, it was about 3 weeks ago. I was watching her brushing it, and I said, "Wow, I've got a lot of broken off hair." And she goes, "Oh, that's not broken off hair." She goes, "That's all new hair coming in." I said, "Really?" So what does that tell me? It tells me carnivore had the vitamins I needed because I wasn't getting enough of them because meat is the most nutrient dense food, beef is. So as I get through it, I can feel it get thinner and thinner and thinner. But I'd been doing carnivore for 3.5 months, I think. Yeah, 3.5 months. And that was 3.5 months of hair growth. So all of a sudden, the hair I lost during COVID, which was a ton of it, is finally the follicles are waking up. Isn't that interesting? So toxic food stops your hair from growing. The more hair you have, the more reserves of minerals you have, should something happen and you need them. Yeah. God, fearfully and wonderfully made. So yeah, it is, my brush broke this morning. My favorite brush. I'm brushing my hair and it's like, it broke, the handle broke off of the end. I'm like, oh man, I might be able to glue it. It's not all the way broken off, but I might have to go to town and buy another brush. I've got other ones, but they're just not as nice as that one. It's a natural, I always get natural bristle, but yeah, my hair is getting thick again. The hair itself that's coming in is not the thick, heavy stuff that I'm used to having. It may get there as my minerals build up, but that's something else to look forward to if you've lost hair. Some men say that their hair grows back that they've lost. Ooh, the wind's really blowing. I heard the flag snapping. Um, excuse me. Yeah, they're some of them are getting their hair back from the nutrition. What's that right here on this side? That hair hanging down bugs me. I hate when I see women with strands of hair hanging down. It bugs me. Oh, you talk as much as you like, Teresa. That's why you have a chat room. So when I took ivermectin, I just took the horse paste and I mixed it in yogurt and ate it up. It was fine. But with ivermectin, what I'm seeing is different things. The protocols were some doctors were saying you need to take 100 milligrams a day of the pills for like 10 days. I knew when I took it, I just wanted to see what it would do. It didn't do anything because I only took it once or twice, so it didn't really do anything. But um, oh, that's something else I wanted to tell you. I'm sitting here while I'm talking to you. My right leg is bouncing. It's like I've been doing this for the last week. So apparently my muscles, my body has got energy now. It's getting energy. So yeah, I'll be watching TV. Like right now, both my knees are gone. You know how you bounce? I'm on my tippy toes on my chair. You can't really see me moving with it, but yeah, I'm bouncing my feet and my legs are bouncing like I'm bouncing. What would you call it? I'm trying to think what it looks like. I don't know, but they're both a moving. They're both moving. And I used to be like that all the time. I always had excess energy, so that's good. Yeah, what I would do, some people were talking in chat last night saying they were getting it from a US place. But when I got mine from overseas at All Day Chemist. It takes a while to get here, like 3 weeks. But at the time it was the cheapest. And I think it's getting more if they make it over the counter, which I think they're going to eventually, the price will come way down because they can't patent it because the it's been around too long. But I wouldn't mind doing a whole round of it. I don't think it's going to hurt you. In the interim, I maybe I'll take one of these. I haven't done it for a while. The nicotine. God, who was it I got into argument with? Oh, who was it? Wasn't it was somebody that doesn't come in a chat too often, but these are the nicotine patches. Now, from what I understand, nicotine can stop, maybe I won't put one on. It can stop progression with if you're doing carnivore, it can put a halt. Yeah, see, I open it and I cut it up into 6 pieces. I'll show you. Cut my patches up into 6 pieces and just put them back in here. There. So I just cut them into pieces like that. I buy the biggest after you do the initial protocol. I do the biggest amount. You get more bang for the buck. They're the same price for the 14s, the 7s, the 21s just have more. And so I just get you cut the patches, you get more patches out of it because for a maintenance dose, they don't need that much. I haven't really been out. Usually when I went to Spokane, if I went to town to get groceries, I would put one on because there's a lot. I think there must be doing new rounds of shots because I've noticed that when I come back, sometimes I'll be like, I just figure I've been around somebody, took a shot. Yep, magnesium. Magnesium is good for if you get arrhythmias, like Pam gets arrhythmias. She's probably low in magnesium. I think it was Dr. Berg yesterday talking about magnesium. That well, it seems like I heard it a couple days earlier though. Somebody else talking about how people need. Yeah, with Berg, you need to take a massive amount of magnesium sometimes because people are so low they have to refill their body with it. So anyway. Yeah, I think I'm gonna, let's see. Oh, almost an hour and a half. I think I'm gonna peel out of here. Yeah, so it's taken me a while, but I'm finally losing a little bit of weight, and that makes me feel good. It's actually kind of a burden off of me. But if you're doing carnivore or keto, you might be one of those people like me. Just takes longer. Your body's got to adjust or something. I don't know what it is. Might be that the getting rid of the toxic stuff, it takes that long before the insulin resistance starts backing off. But when it happened I started losing weight right at the end of my 4 months. And I thought, well, that's kind of weird. The very beginning of my fifth month, I started losing the weight. But it was a different protocol I was doing, and it happened really fast. So yes, thank you guys for being here. Teresa, you're not. That's the chat room. You chat anything, questions, comments. Just wanna post a sticker or something. Knock yourself out. That's what it's there for. So I appreciate you guys being with me today. I hope you maybe learned something from it. And I can't wait to get my teaching from Dr. Barry so I can be a little bit more informed and help you guys out a little bit more. Maybe sound a little bit more, how about a little bit more professional? I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to let you guys go and I hope you have a great rest of your weekend. And I will see you next Saturday, God willing, and maybe before, I don't know. I might hop on. But anyway, yeah, thanks for being with me today and bye-bye. Was I sharing? What was I sharing that? That was dumb. I had a share up all that time. I came off a Bible study today. I guess I don't know what's going on. Oh, did I cut you off yet? Probably not. Nope.